No, what questions do you have?
We can start with there, because I just got an email from the office, so we can start with the chief. Yeah.
Chief, yeah, the chief is no longer in the running for the Cincinnati job. He has not, he's pulled his name out entirely, and he will be staying with us. So I'm excited about that.
Was this his decision, or was he just not being considered for the position?
I think it was a little of both. Yeah, I think it was a little of both.
So does this now put this to rest?
Yes. He told me he was planning on retiring here, so I take him at his word. And I'm very happy about that. We just heard today that crime in the city has gone down by 14%. And we're really focusing on this intelligence-led policing that's going to be targeted to the areas where the crime is the highest. And they have data that shows where the crimes occur, what time they occur during the day, what days they occur most often. So all of this data is going to be used to determine how police officers are deployed. It's good.
And this sounds like one of the things he proposed doing when he first moved here last year.
Yeah, yes, exactly. It's so certainly one of the things that I was interested in, and one of the things that made him an attractive candidate to us, that he had experience doing this kind of intelligence-led policing, and so yeah, exactly.
So this application process is done with?
Yes.
Aaron Berg and that conversation is behind everybody?
Yeah, I think so.
Is this it then? Smooth sailing from here on out?
Oh, from your lips to God's ears. Yeah, I think we're in a good place. I'm so proud of the work that our police officers are doing. They're so community oriented. The neighborhoods see them and know that they're there doing their job, and I think they're doing a great job.
So besides that approach to crime fighting, is there anything else on the radar in terms of other objectives for the department in the next year or so?
Well, they have put together a strategic plan, which I think is a great thing to have. We are all working on getting our GIS system up and running, which will be really useful to the police as well as other departments. And I think continuing, certainly the focus on making sure that our communities are safe is what they'll be doing. We had, I think it was last week, maybe the week before, training for our neighborhood accountability boards. And we're putting together a board of people that will deal with first-time offenders, misdemeanors, youth, and help to get them on the straight and narrow by talking about restitution and accountability. So we're excited about that taking off as well.
Do you have any thoughts on the chief?
Oh, I want to make sure, Mayor, you're saying, Alex said, was it the chief withdrawing, or did they tell him that he wasn't necessarily going to get the job, and you said a little of both? Mm-hmm. Okay, you can't really elaborate.
No, I don't think I need to.
Okay. And was it, I know that his father really recently passed away. Did that have any role in it? Can you say? Or?
I suspect it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the reasons he wanted to go back to Cincinnati because his father was elderly, and he was doing a lot of traveling back and forth, taking care of him.
Other topics?
Was he up there when his father passed away? Do you know? Mm-hmm. He was, okay. I'm not saying it loud enough, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
With respect, I'm just pulling up the information right now. With respect to the situation at the sewage plant, any thoughts on where that goes after this week?
Well, yes. I said last night at City Commission meeting that I charged Scott Kelly with really taking a close look at what's going on there. We know that the plant itself is working very well, getting the job done, doing what it's supposed to be doing with the sewage. But we clearly have some personnel issues there that have to be addressed. And Mr. Kelly is a very experienced manager, leader, and he is going to figure out what's happening over there, and we're going to get it taken care of.
Is this just the kind of office thing that happens in some offices sometimes?
I don't, you know, it's hard for me to say, but I do know there's a lot of he said, she said kind of stuff going on. And, you know, it's about climate, it's about building a culture of respect for each other and understanding the work that people have to do and respect that. So I think it's an issue of changing the culture there, but we need to better understand what exactly is going on.
Can you say if Mr. Carlino, am I butchering his name?
Carlini?
Carlini, I'm sorry. We had heard a report that he had resigned.
No.
Okay.
Any thoughts on the CRA and possible changes there?
I am excited about it. I think, and I know that we have our naysayers out there, people who are, well, it's never going to work, but I actually think it's really going to work as we start moving forward with this and implementing the vision that we have. I'm really excited about where it's going to take us. So I hope people will give us a chance to move forward with us, and I think a year from now we're going to be saying it's the best thing we ever did.
What's the benefit to the public by doing it that way?
Well, the benefit to the public is multiple, twofold mainly. I believe that there will be a cost savings, and more importantly, I believe we'll have the people here who we need to get the job done, that we have to get done in our redevelopment areas. Right now we don't have the skills that we need. We have folks who work here who do a really great job, but we're at a different level in both of our CRAs, and we need some people with skills that we don't have currently. And this will allow us to bring in some of the top talent in some very specific areas.
Since you mentioned cost savings, is there any sense of where we are with the consultant who will look at efficiencies in the city for the next year? Has the commission embraced that?
I think we have the RFP has gone out for someone to come in, so we'll wait and see what kind of...
So that's still in the process of taking shape.
Correct. See what kind of responses we get. RFQ it is. So we'll see what kind of responses we get to that.
When is the RFQ going out on the CRA?
By the end of this week, it'll be out.
Mayor, one of the questions that readers, inquiring minds want to know is, one of the first questions that came out when they started talking about this idea of privatizing the CRA is that all these CRAs sometimes compete for the same grants and the same money for everything. If you get a private contractor, isn't there a potential that you're going to have somebody representing two different cities competing for the same money?
Probably, but let me tell you, first of all, we have had someone in that position who worked for other cities, and we never saw that happen, ever had a problem with
You're
that.
talking about Ms. Brismeister was on the 28-hour thing and also...
Right, I mean, she worked for other cities, and we never saw any of that occur. Secondly, there are people out there in the private sector who have multiple clients. Attorneys have multiple clients. Real estate agents have multiple clients. Bankers have multiple clients. You don't ask that question of them. You know, you don't say, oh, Mr. Banker, do you give more attention to this guy than you do that guy? No, we expect people to represent each of their clients in a fair manner. And that's what we'll expect from anybody who gets this contract. And it's a contract, so should that not occur, the contract will be terminated. But it happens all the time in the private sector.
And it's come up, and I mean, not just by, I mean, people have said it at commission meetings. There's concern that it's already a done deal, that Ms. Brismeister's company's going to get the job.
I know that. I know that there's concern. I guess I would like to assure people that we're going to do this in the most transparent way and the fairest way possible. And whoever is the most qualified and has the most potential to give us what we want will get the contract. If that's Ms. Briesmeister, then it's going to be Ms. Briesmeister. If it's not her, then it will be someone better than her. And I mean, that's another one of those, oh, she's going to get the job. Well, if she's the best person for the job, she should get the job. If she's not, then someone else who's better than her is going to get it, and all the better for us.
But you'll see on the record, the fix isn't in.
Fix isn't in. If I can find someone better than Ms. Briesmeister, that's what we'll do.
The budget hearings are coming up, you know, and the city seems to be, you know, at a point where, and you've said this, where they might finally be pulling out of things. You know, you can have a nice big outlet mall that's going to start generating some money and some other things. Will there be, do you feel like you're not going to have to cut anymore in the next year, or is it still pretty dicey?
Well, you know, we, as you know, we're taking about $2.5 million out of reserves to balance next year's budget. We need to put that money back into the reserves. And we need to not spend any more of our contingency or our reserves. And so we're going to have to be really frugal for the next couple of years. We have to be very tight-fisted. And, you know, we've got a lot of things on our plate, a lot of things that we've spent money on this year that we hadn't planned on spending money on. So this upcoming year, we're going to have to be very, very, as I said, very frugal. If we're not, then we'll have to take some more drastic action.
Can you say, and I'm sure this is of interest to the employees, that the cutting, you know, laying people off is going to be near the end of your list of things to do?
Oh my gosh, I don't foresee us laying people off unless we're not frugal, unless we go outside the bounds of our current budget, which we can't do. But, you know, you have things pop up that you have no control over sometimes.
But you're saying on the record that you want to make that the absolute last thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have cut so many people from our city that we could not possibly continue to provide the services we're providing if we cut any more people.